Jason. How is everybody? I have been participating off and on as a guest and as a volunteer for the National AFL-CIO convention, which is currently taking place in the Pennsylvania Convention Center in Philadelphia. And I am proud to identify myself with this wonderful movement of working people seeking to combine themselves for their empowerment. Quite frankly, you cannot trust the corporate class or the business class or the oligarchic class to look after the interests and needs and well-being of working people. That can only come for the combination of numbers, of talents and skills and determination and support of working people coming together for their benefit. That's the way it's always has been, and that's the way it has to continue to be, since we're dealing with the danger of a Republican Party still remaining as a powerful organized body, dominated by a neo-fascist element. Yes, I will dare say that name, neo-fascist. I don't bandy about it freely. There are serious neo-fascists trying to install a corporate regime in America, where all the decision making is made by a small oligarchic class, and we working people and minorities, people in neighborhoods, people in local communities are not at the table. We're on the menu, but not at the table, in the wise saying of Elizabeth Warren. We're going to be an oligarchic class that if they attain power and retain power, they will cut us up, continue to whittle away at our rights to organize, our rights to have a decent wage, have decent working conditions, have an education, be able to afford college or some other form of education, have a decent place to live. It is the working men and women combining into unions that has created the middle class and the American dream. It's not perfect. People of color and women have been excluded, unfortunately, for the longest time. But that is changing. We see women taking responsible leadership roles in the movement. I'm thinking of Liz Schuler, who comes out of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, is now the president of the AFL-CIO nationally, and the president of the Pennsylvania AFL-CIO is Angela Ferrito. And the people of color are also continuing to rise in prominence in the movement. And labor agitation is strong throughout the country, with the most obvious examples being the organizing efforts at Starbucks and Amazon employees. Let us give them our fullest support. But there are anti-union elements supported by very wealthy and powerful interests. The Koch brothers have been a traditional example. And I'm also thinking about Elon Musk, who is slated in a few years, according to some statistics, to be the world's first trillionaire, trillion with a T. And Jeff Bezos, who made his fortune of the works of the sweat and effort and toil and trouble and tribulation and pain and suffering of his employees at the Amazon distribution centers. Do you think he made that up It's all him. Please be real. The old let us end once and for all the premise of trickle down economics and the idea that the corporate class in their self-interest will recognize that a well-paid, well-treated working force is to their interests. They don't care about us, not even for their own self-interest. We're expendable to them. But this corporate class wants us hating each other. That's why they subsidize anti-gay movements, like these maniacs who are getting hysterical about transgender girls playing in girls' sports and going to the girls' restrooms. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott. And get excited over LGBTQ studies in public schools. Yet they're a thing. Trans people are people, and they're very real. LGBTQ people are real. But the religiously based right wing in this country, supported by the same oligarchic class, is paying for these maniacs who are raising scares about grooming. If a kid's gonna grow up to be gay, they're gonna grow up to be gay. And all the conversion therapy in the world isn't going to change that. Not for nothing has it been called a form of child abuse. These things are terrible in and of themselves. Homophobia is terrible, racism is terrible, transphobia is terrible, anti-Semitism is terrible. By the way, the term anti-Semitism has been created because it sounds scientific from the 19th century. I think a better term would be Judeophobia. On par with Islamophobia and transphobia and homophobia. Just an idea. I don't want to kick it around. The same people trying to whip up racism and homophobia and transphobia, etc., all these prejudices, are supported by the same oligarchic class who would have us fighting and killing each other, while they themselves reap the benefits of tax breaks and corporate welfare and weakened unions and impoverished workers. Let's fight this. Let's be aware who the real enemy is. It's not your neighbor going through the transition from one gender to the next. It's not the folks hanging around having fun at the Gay Pride Festival. It's not the black couple next door. It's not the school teaching about the very real unhealthy history of racism in this country. It's the oligarchic capitalistic class that wants us hating on each other. That's the enemy. It's damn sure not the poor folks down the corner hanging out at the food distribution center trying to get a free bag of food. They want us hating on each other. Us complaining about the corporate welfare bums. The welfare bums not want to work. Whereas the corporate class get these payments from the federal government of the billions of dollars, and we don't benefit from it. such as tax breaks, where almost $1 trillion corporation like Amazon pays no taxes whatsoever, and not only that, they get a tax refund. $1 trillion company gets a tax refund. Excuse me. That's what we're up against. That's what we got to not allow to resume power in D.C. or Harrisburg or any other state capital, or even your county courthouse or your township supervisor. It was organize, educate, communicate, organize. That's how we will beat them. And we'll have the America we deserve, where health care and education are rights and not privileges for the rich. Where decent housing, decent affordable housing is doable. Where you can walk the street, if you're of any sort of minority person, you can walk the street without fear of being beat up or killed. That's what we want in this country. It's not too much to ask, but it's a lot to fight for. Let's do it. Excuse me. Okay. Now, advertisements. Hemperific LLC is a lovely little CBD product store on Snyder Avenue near 15th Street in South Philadelphia. There you will find some of the finest cannabis products you can imagine. Flour and gummies and candies and drinks and teas and lip balm and hand sanitizer and dog treats. Look them up, please. HemperificLLC.com. I shall talk up Michelle Snow, my beloved career and business coach. Like any other coach, she'll guide you along the path as you develop your professional career and your business. Let you know what you're doing right, where you need work, and help you network with other up-and-coming professionals. Look her up, please. GrowWithSnow.com. Okay? Okay then. That's the task ahead of us. I know we can do it. It's worked in the past. Let's make sure it works in the future. Take care. Keep on slugging. Bye.